Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and now our Lord and Savior PvPoke.com just released the Great League rankings and updated it today. So the latest and greatest Great League teams are now out, as well as the latest and greatest Great League picks. This is part 3. As you know, Great League is going to come back for another week, and then we're going to have a week of Great League, 2 weeks of Great League, and Great League Remix. So it's going to be Great League's going to be really weird. So, if you don't like Master League, guess what? Great League is back for the same week. So, as you see here, it looks like Cresselia, Alola, Ninetales, and Sirfetch'd are the top 3. So, not too much of a change. It's kind of surprised that Cresselia with Grassland Moonblast is kind of rising through the ranks, because I know it's a giant tank, but things like G-Fist, etc. can kind of like run over Cresselia, and there's Umbreon. So, yeah. But anyways, Alolan Ninetales and Sirfetch'd aren't surprised. Sirfetch'd is a powerful beast, great fighting type. Fighters are very powerful in this current day meta. And Alolan Ninetales is a powerful Weather Ball user. And as you see here we have the top teams. I will be analyzing the top 5 teams for this analysis. Looks like there's plenty of things that have been working, but it looks like their top 5 is relatively... It's pretty much very similar teams, but they're very interesting. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, so team number 5 is Galarian, Stunfisk, Pelipper, and Venusaur. You probably have already seen this team before. I've analyzed it before, so I'm not going to go over it too much. It's a super meta team. Again, very, very safe team. Pelipper is a fantastic safe switch. With Hurricane, you can either nuke through shield and take back switch, or you can pressure opponent shields, come out of it with shield advantage. There's a lot of things you can do with Pelipper safe switch. It's one of the best safe switches in the game, as of right now. Very good, okay consistency, okay coverage, but it doesn't have a sizable amount of bulk because Venusaur and Pelipper aren't very bulky, but that's perfectly fine because the amount of damage this team does is absolutely insane. It's very, very powerful. As you see here, its threat score is 636 on the high side, and it does fall to Deoxys defense. Not really, though, because Galarian stuff is kind of like walls all of Deoxys type defense's charge moves, so it's not too bad if you get a Deoxys defense lead. There's ways you can play out of it. Venusaur can also give you a problem because you essentially have to, like, Earthquake or hit something fancy, but, like I said, there's still ways out of it. Mew might give you an issue. Like, Mew's probably the biggest issue you'll have with this team, just because if it is a Wild Charge Surf team, it's going to give you a hard time unless you can line up Mew with Venusaur. But, super meta team, usually it's a Tropius in the back. Not too fancy, you've seen this one before, and it's still really good, and it will serve you well for Great League when it comes back soon. Team number 4 is a team my buddy Romel created. As you see here, it's Venusaur, Sableye, Safe Switch, and Galarian Stunfisk. Again, super meta team, very, very good. The reason why Venusaur is in the lead is because it does very well against Charmers, and Sableye Safe Switch is effectively the most powerful Safe Switch in the game, as in XL. No, seriously, if you like, we'll go over it. But as you see here, very, very good team, and you likely won't see a lot of its weaknesses. Of course, Venusaur can lose the lead against a lot of things like Flyers, Ice types, Psychic types like Hypno, and of course Talonflame now it's risen out. However, like I said, Sableye is a powerful safe switch. You can either take back switch with Sableye, or you can realign with Galarian Stunfisk and do some damage. It's a very powerful team, very widely used, and it's really, really good. Again, it features a Sableye, a Purified Sableye. Assuming this is a level 51, you can best buddy it. However, Sableye can also go at level 50. So if you have a really good level 50 XL Sableye, guess what? It gets even better. It's definitely a lot more powerful. With pretty much the same weaknesses, but your Sableye, as you see here, the threat score does go down a little bit. Team number 3 features Tropius, Azumarill, and Bastiodon. The Tropius Azucore was actually a very powerful mon. Actually, Tropius, Azumarill, and G Stunfisk was the big meta team of Season 3. So, it's kind of interesting that this team's out here, because all they really did was replace the G-Fist with a Bastiodon. Anyways, not too much, like, this isn't really that complicated. Bastion's in the back because you hope that whatever Bastion lines up with, it just smashes through it. High bulk, high consistency, however, this team is not safe at all. Azumarill, with the moveset of Hydro Pump and Play Rough, is able to win the mirror against a lot of things. However, if Sableye returns through it, And there's, like, if Sableye hits a return, if the Pelipper hits a Hurricane, there's a lot of things that can take down Azu. So just keep that in mind. However, this team is statistically very powerful because it's the number 3 most powerful team statistically in Great League. And as you see here, the only thing that really threatens you are either Grass Leads or Electric types. That's why Probopass is really good against this team. As you see here, this team is very, very powerful, and there's a lot of counters to it, but it's not too complicated. No, seriously, it's Azu's the safe switch, and then you realign a Bastiodon. If Bastiodon can't take it out, you pray that Tropius can finish off your opponent. Not that pretty simplistic, not too hard. One of the higher threat scores here, and in my opinion, it's not really a fantastic team, especially with all the fighters in the back, along with G-Fist in the back, but, you know, it's a good team regardless. Statistically very powerful. I can agree on how it's really powerful. I just hate Bastiodon. So maybe I'm just being a little biased. Or really biased. Just depends. Alright, so whoever created this team, I really want to know, were you going the spicy route, or is this really that basic? Actually, I fought this team before. Pelipper, Lead, Meganium, and Galarian Stunfisk. I'm assuming G-Fisk is the safe switch. Meganium is out here because Earthquake does a lot of damage against things like Bastion or the Steel in the back. It does really good against Galarian Stunfisk. So this team is very powerful. Pelipper can be used to take shields, or you can use it to win switch, either or, and then you can use Stunfisk and Meganium to run over your opponent. Very good team, very safe. You have 2 tanks in the back. Good stats above all the rest, but it's a very good team. I've seen this team before. I'm not surprised it's back here because it's that good. As you see here, really high threat score for the sheer reason that there's actually, for Venusaur in the lead, can give you a little bit of a problem. Just because Venusaur with Vine Whip, with Frenzy Plant, hits so hard along with that. But the thing about it is there's not a lot of electric leads out here. And as you see here, like I mentioned, you can sacrifice Pelipper and then run over your opponent with the back row. And it's pretty good against the fighter leads, can still do well against things like Skarmory, etc. But it's a very good team with 3 very meta picks. You have the most powerful safe switch in the game. Well, not really the most powerful, I'd say, like the most popular one. That's still really good in the lead. You have one of the Generation 2 tanks in the back with Earthquake, and you have the most overpowered thing since Registeel, which is Galarian Stunfisk. Registeel 2.0. So spicy! So spicy! Great team. And the most powerful team, according to PvPoke.com, in Great League is a Bastiodon team. I hate tap-tap teams, and I hate Bastiodon. However, this team does feature Bastiodon lead. With Medicham as, well, you have Sableye as a safe switch. I'm assuming Sableye is your safe switch, and then you're just using the most powerful fighter overall in the game, which is Medicham, statistically. I'm going to assume that this is an XL Medicham. It only makes sense because in the back row, it's an XL Medicham. So this is what happens when you have a regular XL. Actually, let's do this. We'll just give it a Medicham XL, so you have the, that really fancy XL thing. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Okay, so after I hit rate team, I'm assuming it's going to go up, or I predict it's going to go up. And it does! As you see here, this team gets substantially better as long as you give it a Medicham XL. Medicham XL is a beast, and it gives this team extra consistency as well as the extra bulk. It's a very bulky team. I don't want to make Sableye an XL, however, let's assume it. Let's assume it's a best buddy Sableye. We'll analyze it later if it was a level, not level 51. We'll do level 41. So we're going to assume this is a best buddy Sableye, so this is probably the best combination you can get. Level 50 Medicham, level 41, and let's see if it goes up. Not that much, but it's fine. Anyways, this team is insanely powerful. Bastion is an annoying lead, because if you win with a lead with it, you can realign. But the thing about Bastion, it also takes out the heavy Weather Ball meta. It takes out the flyers, it can take down Altaria down shields, it can also take out things like Pelipper as well as Alolan Ninetales. It can also take out Obama Snow. It's just a giant tank, okay? And if you cannot punch this thing to death or Earthquake it to oblivion, Bastiodon will wreck your world. As you see here, a Medicham XL and Sableye are a fantastic back row, and it does very well in this meta. Not a slow threat score, but, it's lower than a lot of other things. As you see here, like I mentioned, you have to be aware of the G-Fisk lead, as well as fighters, Mudboys, etc. They are out there. However, if you are able, you could sack Bastiodon if you want to. You could take down shields, and Medicham XL and Sableye are a fantastic back row. Medicham XL is the most powerful fighter in the game, and overall the most powerful Pokemon in Go Battle League, Great League as of right now. Sableye is also the most powerful safe switch in the game. All you really have to do is return through shields, or return through shields, and it pretty much wrecks everything to oblivion, unless you see an Umbreon in the back. Then you're kind of screwed. Other than that, it's insanely powerful. If we assumed that Sableye was an XL, so XL Sableye is possible. If it is a Sableye XL, let's assume it. I'm gonna give it Sableye XL, and then we're gonna hit go. I don't know if it's gonna change too much. And it doesn't change as far as like ratings go too much, but let's look at the threat score. So it goes down 4 points, still makes it really powerful. Again, really powerful team, and it's the most powerful team in Great League as of right now. A tap team made it. Even though I'm not surprised, because the last team actually just had Medicham in the lead, Bastiodon in the back, and Azu as a safe switch. That's all that happened. And now this team just features the same thing, just kind of reorganized, and you replace Azu safe switch with a Sableye safe switch. So yeah, I'm gonna test it out, and I don't think I'm gonna probably cry that I'm using a Bastiodon for a video, but yeah, most powerful team. Let's go. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Some last minute thoughts. As you see here, as far as ratings go, the top 5 teams are very powerful, with the biggest gap being between Team 3 and Team 2. So if you don't have a Medicham XL or Sableye, you can use Team 2, and it looks like statistically it's very strong. However, if you look at the usage percentage, a lot of people are using the top team, as you see right here. So again, there's not too many teams that, well, it's very hard to be spicy in Great League, like what I did with Season 1 Mega Beam team. That's almost impossible to do nowadays, because their fire is well, there's such an oppressive anti-fire meta out now. Talonflame is still powerful. As you see, some ABB teams are really trying to get fancy and work. However, ABB teams looks like they've fallen off the map. Bastiodon Double Fighter looks like to be the most powerful ABB team as of right now, but even then it doesn't measure up to the top 5. For those of you using the Hypno Double Dark team, it looks like it's taking a huge nosedive, as you see here, losing a titanical amount of rating. It's not really a surprise why, because as you see, if you look up the top of the ones that are statistically powerful, Hypno loses hard against Bastiodon. So you almost, unless you focus blast through shields, you're almost going to have to certainly switch out. And then Sableye Medicham is just a fantastic and powerful back row. So yeah, it's like ABB teams, again, they're not the most, they're good. It's a fun gimmick, and if you use those Pokemon well, because most ABB lines, or the Bs in an ABB line, are very meta, then it can do very well. However, it doesn't pale in comparison to ABC teams, because ABC teams have more coverage. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully these teams do help you out. Again, it looks like the G-Fist Pelipper Venusaur line, which was pretty powerful and popular, is still very strong. And, of course, different variations like Venusaur, Sableye, Stunfisk. You also have Pelipper, Meganium, Galarian, Stunfisk, which is another, like I said, I've seen it before I fought it, very popular line. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well in your Go Battle League sets. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.